Hi, and welcome to today's Why Follow the Herd show. I'm your host, Debbie Clement-Large. Today's show is all about the gifts of authenticity. It is the most wonderful gift that you can give yourself. And today's guest is going to share with him his journey to living and working in a more authentic place. You're not going to want to miss his journey. See you in a moment. So welcome to today's show. I have got a wonderful gift for you today, all about authenticity. I'd like you to introduce you to Ved Uke, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Volkswagen Roberts and is an experienced international trade specialist. So why have I got somebody like that on my show? Well, he has got the most amazing journey to share about living and working from an authentic place. Not only does he have a fantastic job and create a difference in the world, but he has an MBA as well, which is fantastic. So I am looking forward to hearing all about where you started and where you are, why you're doing what you're doing now. So let's start off there. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Debbie. Thank you for the invite.
And you were telling me before all about your uniqueness and being authentic. So I'd love to hear right back from the start. When did you realize that you weren't living an authentic place and sharing your uniqueness with the world?
So my journey basically started when my MBA was just about to finish. And that's when I had basically decided to start Volkswagen Roberts as an international trade firm. And there was a lot of noise in that space. There was a lot of noise coming towards me in regards with advice, in regards with how I need to structure the business, how I need to do stuff, how I need to speak with people. Obviously, being a person from a different country, it helped a lot. These trainings, these sessions, these were something that I definitely needed to uh, adapt myself and adapt the business to a British standard. That being said, at the same time, I felt that I was losing a track of my own thoughts and my own strategies, how I wanted to do things, how I wanted to structure things. So that's basically when I realized after starting a business, after a couple of months into it, that's when I realized that something is wrong. It's not working out right, and it's not even making me happy in what I'm doing.
Hmm.
So why I'm doing what I'm doing? That's the question which basically I asked myself, and from there I decided, you know what? Let's change things. I think it's better to believe in my own gut instinct and think and strategize the business the way I like it. So we pivoted the business slightly, keeping the value proposition same. And from there onwards, I started believing in my own self and, thinking that what I was doing has has had its ups and downs, but it has been a learning journey. I wouldn't say that, I've learned nothing from it,
Hmm.
but as I said, learning from it, adapted myself again, pivoted, and now I've got brilliant results, much more higher results than what I used to get while, taking up that noise from maybe outside, if you want to call it that way.
So there was a couple of wonderful things you said there. You talked about the noise of outside and everything that was going on. And then you talked about starting to believe in yourself. So was there a link between those two things then?
Yes. So this noise, which would come from outside, was basically a noise which where people wanted me to do things their way,
Hmm.
where they put their own opinions and their own strategies, their own ideologies, and what they made of what I was doing on me. Basically it's their perspective of things.
Yeah.
And me being basically, if you want to call it, a virgin entrepreneur in the UK, uh, I had to go through that because if I didn't, then I wouldn't have learned what I learned then.
Mm.
Structuring and understanding that whole concept, where the business ethics, business practices, how to present yourself. Again, when these advisors, these coaches, these people would, bombard you with that, what, this is what I believe you should do. This is what I believe you should do. This is what I think, would be right for you. We are supporting that other business more than you because they're listening to us. Things like that. So when I saw all of these things, I was like, well, anyways, it's not making me happy. Anyways, things are not working fine. The business was not growing as basically I wanted it to grow. So I was like, well, what's the point? What's the point in doing all of this then? So that's when, again, as I said, I started believing in myself and how I wanted to do things rather than, uh, doing the things what anyone else was telling me to do, how they wanted me to do things again. So started believing in myself again, and that's where even the business started growing slowly and steadily. We started scaling, we started growing, and now today, fortunately, we've got clients in multiple countries across the globe, and this is where we are at now.
Thank you for sharing that. So I have a feeling that your journey to living authentically started way before you doing your MBA and setting up your business. So
Uh, sorry, go on.
your roots really then started somewhere quite different.
Yes, they did. Indeed. So basically, I think where again I stood out as an individual, as a person who was um, who would do things his own way rather than going the way where the masses flow,
Yeah.
going against the tide. So I think it started just out of my engineering college when I had done my bachelor's. And me being me, I was a person who would, since I have an automotive background in engineering, me being me, I used to spend more time in the garage rather than the classes. So I would be in the garage day and night sorting out, cars or, motorsport vehicles, go-karts and quad bikes and so on and so forth. And this wasn't really something that, the standard professors like. They want you to sit in the classes. They would want you to, score the highest of the marks. And, that's just how university life is, isn't it? So I wasn't allowed to sit in the placements from the university campus during those times, just because of me upsetting a couple of professors by not attending their lectures. And fortunately enough, uh, someone from outside came out hunting for me uh, because I had such a good garage experience. I had such a good technical experience. They came out hunting for me, and they gave me basically the highest package or highest placement during that time. And I was already on the payroll before graduating. So 6 months before graduating, I was already on the payroll,
Wow.
even before my final year finished.
Mm.
So that's when even I realized that, what, I think it's just better for me to, do what I do best, and I enjoy doing what I do. I enjoy being different. I enjoy being a person who goes against the rules, or maybe, goes against the tide. So when it's addictive, if you want to call it,
Yeah.
because I started then going against rules. I became the senior most lead in the placement, and basically carried out undertook many projects under that company. And from there, before I resigned from there, actually, I got an opportunity where I thought that the business would be right. So I had started my first business in 2016, and it scaled up really well as well.
Mm.
So
What's
that's how basically, that's where it began.
but what's so fascinating about that, and thank you for sharing that, is that doing what felt right for you felt a natural thing to do. That you didn't hold you back, even though professors were saying, actually, this is what you should be doing. And you're putting into the risk of not having a good placement, of not doing this, but still you did it. Now, a lot of people would have listened to that authoritative voice and just decided, okay, I'm going to put what I like to one side and I'm going to do what's expected of me. But you didn't do that.
I'm not a person who, if they force me to do something, I'm definitely going the other way
I love that.
around. If someone is, holding my neck and trying to point me in certain direction, I'm gonna get out of there as fast as I can.
Mm. So what is it that is leading you within you? What it's almost like a calling and in a voice. What is it? I mean, how do you experience knowing what is the right direction and what is your authentic path?
I really don't know, to be honest. When you ask that question, I can say that, I listen to my own internal voice where, it carries me forward, or it tells me, right, you know what, I feel that, this would be better for you, rather than, doing what he said, or, thinking about that. So I'm really unsure in regards with what carries me forward, but I think it's just a motivation that I keep motivating myself. I look at myself as a person that will go through tough times, will stick to those principles, but will still get through. And it's not the first time that I haven't gotten through. It's like I've done it many times now, so it's become addictive. As I said before, I know that when you're going against the tide, things are gonna be tough. Things are gonna be absolutely rough when they are. But then once you get through it, the happiness is just on the next level.
I love that. So when did you really, I'd like to explore a little bit more about that journey of thinking and enjoying what you were enjoying, tinkering with the cars and things like that, but really then thinking to yourself, I can really show this up in a big way. I'm brave enough. And actually it takes bravery and courage to decide, I'm not going to necessarily do the expectations, but I'm really going to do this and share this part of my gift with the world. Do you know what I mean?
Um, well, I think that in those days I wasn't really thinking much in regards with what is going to happen. I believe that what I was doing was definitely right. I knew that once you go out there in the real world, uh, companies, people who are really appreciating talent and who really want that kind of talent, they would hunt for you rather than go for something which is a bookish learning kind of thing, a bookish learning skill.
Yeah.
Uh, because engineering, as a whole concept, it's basically something that you actually have to get your hands dirty with. Whether it's IT, whether it's electronics, whether it's something else. Unless you get your hands dirty in engineering, it's just there's literally just no point in you doing any kind of engineering. I mean, that's my perspective.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say in regards with that, because it's just I think I really am finding it difficult to phrase it in a statement. But as I said, I wasn't thinking much about the future at that time, but I just knew that what I was doing was absolutely right. I was standing out of the crowd. I was going against the tide. I knew that again, as professors did give me a tough time, but it's just not going to stop there. I knew that it is going to get better.
What I hear from what you said really was that the engineering bit, you can learn it in your head, but it's the passion of tinkering with it that creates something different. So it's not just knowing something intellectually and logically, but feeling it here. And it's more than it's a passion, it's a creative, it's a bit of discovery that sort of pulls you, and you're willing
It,
to be pulled along and follow that adventure.
I think it is about loving what you do,
Yeah.
happiness in what you're doing. I absolutely still, like, even till date, if there's something wrong with my car, I absolutely love tinkering with it myself rather than going to a garage. So these are the things I think. Even then, in perspective of engineering, I absolutely love doing, getting my hands dirty, going under the car, doing the garage work, and so on. And once I received my MBA as well, I started, researching more into operations. I started researching more into supply chain, and I absolutely loved it. I love supply chain. I love working in a strategic supply chains as well. And because of my interest, I even got a Lean Six Sigma certification done.
Mm.
I hold a green belt in that. So um, during that period as well, Volkswagen Roberts became that supply chain company, be, basically becoming something that I absolutely love. So it's coming back to, again, that enjoying what you do, loving what you do, and finding happiness in what you're doing.
Yeah. And what
That, I think, that's what's the definition of entrepreneurship overall.
so doing what you love rather than doing it just for the money. And but when you do what you love, you tend to get the money as well.
Yeah, because you become the best at it.
Yeah, I love it.
They, people are gonna come to you. Your clients are gonna come to you because they love you, because they see the joy in you. They
Yeah.
feel that joy in you when you're doing that for them, when you're providing that service, when you're providing something really nice to them. They look at you with that intent, that honesty, and you do that with honesty as well. You have that passion and you have that love for your actions, your services, and your business.
Yeah, it does. It makes all the difference. It almost feels like you're just doing what you love anyway. It doesn't so much feel like work then, does it? It feels like I'm just enjoying the path, enjoying the journey rather than trying to get to a destination all the time. And, that destination's ever changing, whether your intentions to achieve something, but it's just following what feels exciting, what new opportunity, what new person, what new thing. And I love it. So what would you say to somebody who is either starting out on their new entrepreneurial journey or is feeling stuck in a position that doesn't feel in alignment with their passion, doesn't feel right for them? What gifts would you give them to help them to step into being their authentic self?
Well, the first thing I would say is believe in yourself, because any every person in this world is basically an individual person having his own positive and negative qualities.
Mm.
And just working on your strengths, improving your weaknesses, that's how you'll get through with any kind of challenge in this world. And focus on the solution rather than the problem. I know it's a really generic statement to make, but then if we do that and believe in your gut instinct, everything gets through.
Yeah. And I think that last sentence was like, just believing in your gut instinct, trusting
Yeah.
yourself is like a huge thing to living authentically, isn't it? And not handing your trust to somebody outside of yourself and saying, you tell me what's right for me, but actually being guided.
There are definitely situations out there, when we need advice,
Mm.
we need that. But then at the end of the day, what you do with that advice is your own personal decision
Mm.
rather than someone else's.
Yeah.
So that is where, you have to trust in yourself, even if you're getting any kind of advice.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, that's been such a gift today, working not only being authentic in our personal lives, but bringing that into the workplace and how to just work and authentically be inspired, follow your passion, and create a fantastic business and financial prosperity just from doing what you love. And like you say, you just attract people to you because you feel you're just giving off the vibe, aren't you? And people want to be around you and knowing what you're doing. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And it is really inspiring, your story, how, you know, you just moved beyond the expectations of others, but knew that following your own path and forging your own path was the right thing for you.
Thank you, Debbie. It is great to share this. It's I wish I could see someone, who would be in my position maybe 2 years back. But it's wonderful. I hope to help other entrepreneurs and do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And by sharing your story today, hopefully you are. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching today. Thank you for taking your time out with us. Please like, please comment. We'd love to hear what you thought of the video. Please share. There are so many people that really need to connect and support at the moment. So please share this, and please subscribe so that you will get the notifications going forward. If you want to know more about who we are, well, mine is whyfollowtheherd.com, and in the comments there will be Ved's email address where you can contact him if you want to know any more information from him. So thank you for your time today. Have a most fantastic of weeks, and I look forward to sharing another conversation next week. See you then.
See ya. Take care.